R Patel, do you know that name? You probably don't know the name, but you will. Let's make some analogies first, because once I set the analogy, then you might understand better what this topic is about. And yes, my disclaimer, this is going to be hilarious, and you may not think it is, but I think once I paint it the way I'm going to paint it, you're going to end up laughing too. Two things. There are two examples, okay? Back about, I don't know, Rittenhouse time, there was a statement going around, F around and find out. Put that one in your memory banks real quick, because we're going to find out a whole lot about effing around and finding out. Remember that, okay? F around and find out. Do you remember when you were a kid? Now, some of you in the current era of life may not remember this or may not have gone through this. But growing up, when you walk the streets late at night, it was like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, those street lights turn off. You go through the street, and sometimes you come across a house. And in this house, with a nice yard, you may encounter a dog in the front yard. And this dog in the front yard is just going at it at the chain links, eating the fence and drooling and just violent. And it gets to the point in the fence where there's a break, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm dead. But then the dog don't do nothing, and somebody open the gates and the dog take off like it's all mouth, right? The dog can't do nothing, but it's in the safety of its yard. And it's thinking, I can say what I want, do what I want. And then when push come to shove, the dog ain't nothing but a cat, and he run off, right? Now remember, F around to find out and the dog. R Patel is just like that dog, and is exactly the embodiment of F around and find out. If you don't know who she is, we're gonna tell you who she is. She showed up to a town hall, or city meeting, if you want to call it that, and in Bakersville, California. Now, she had the nerve to be a pro-Palestine protester. Now, look, whatever you want to say about Palestine and Israel, that ain't what this is about. You can have your belief structure how you want. However, there is a line that is, whether it's imaginary or real, that's kind of drawn in the sand, about putting your belief in such a position that you would try to harm other people for their belief, especially if it counters yours. Well, Miss Patel went full-blown crazy on this one, and trust and believe me, when you see it, at least the explosion, the latter outcome will shock you even more. But just take a listen to what she actually said, okay? Watch.
You guys don't care about anything happening in Palestine or any other country where oppression occurs, because you don't care about the oppression occurring here. And I hope one day somebody brings the guillotine and kills all of you. You guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors? We'll see you at your house. We'll murder you.
Okay. Guillotine, come to your house. We're going to kill you. I will come to your house and I'm going to... Okay, now. Okay, you could disagree and you could have adamant dislike for someone's stance. But you got to remember, you can say whatever you want. You really can. This is a free country. Say whatever you want. However, there comes with what we call that free speech, consequences. You see, a lot of people have been known to just, they think they have the right to just keep, and they don't ever F around and find out. And when they finally do, because they've been doing this a whole lot, they think nothing's going to happen to them. This has been a growing trend across America for a long time. It comes back to respect, I guess, a little bit. And if you watch around how things are going, this is exactly the problem. When someone invites you to their home, right? You invite them to your home, and they come there, and they just go through all your house. They go to your bedroom, they go to your bathroom, your kitchen, and they just open every drawer, turn everything upside down, and then they have the nerve to say, "Thank you for inviting me to your house," and they walk out. Do you think maybe that they felt that comfortable to do that because of something you did? Or even worse, didn't do? You didn't set boundaries, right? You didn't set boundaries for the person, and they felt really at home to do and say what they want. Now, again, First Amendment, free speech. You can say what you want, but not every speech is protected. That's what they keep telling us, right? Remember, they keep telling the people on the right, you can't say that because you got free speech, but that don't mean you can say whatever you want. Okay. Good. I can't say whatever I want without consequence. Well, Miss Patel found out the hard way, because you know what? She got arrested for that. And not only arrested, she got arrested and was charged with multiple felonies for endangering and threatening to endanger the life of a public servant. Now, remember that dog I told you about with the fence? Well, she met that opening in the fence just after all that. And the cops finally opened the fence. And when you see how the dog reacted to the fence being open, you know what? Enjoy the aftermath of the. Okay, look at this.
Miss Patel, that was a threat, what you said at the end, and so the officers are going to escort you out and take care of that.
Now, weren't you the one, Miss Patel, talking about what you would and wouldn't do, and you can't wait for somebody to do this, and weren't you that one, Miss Mike? You were just tough talk the whole time. Now you realize that there's consequences to your action. You're crying and you're not guilty. I'm sorry for you, but we got you on 4K. Some places people have you probably on 8K. Now, some of them ULD, and they got all these emoliated screens and stuff. 90-inch TVs got you now saying the exact same thing that you say you didn't say. But there's a deeper underlying problem outside of Miss Patel. And I want to address that too. That we talk about this underlying theme of disrespect that people have been allowed to. Keyboard warriors, internet, what do you call them? Gangsters, right? You have social media that has allowed people to just go crazy. They just start typing stuff when you're doing something online. And I'm going to tell him. And they can say what they want, and they feel like they're immune from prosecution. That has allowed people to kind of step forward into real life and say things expecting the same result as online. But the even deeper sub-level to that is what it really entails for people on a general level. For instance, did you know that disrespect between parents and kids are at an all-time high? And I don't mean parents to kids, I mean kids to parents. Parents have kind of been taken out of this role of dominance and put them in a role of the children, and the children now elevated to the point of parenting. Even the social media platforms are pushing for that too. Independent, you're just your child, but you can't be invading your child's privacy and blah, 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 blah. It has led to children feeling so entitled that they have now been graduated from just disrespect verbally to ending the lives of parents. Y'all might think this is a stretch, but it's not a stretch when you look at what the outcome is as those children get older. Children go up in a house where they're allowed to disrespect their parents. They go out into society and they think they can do the same thing. They never get checked, never get disciplined, and they never get told that you can't be doing that. And when they go out and interact with regular people, you get Miss Patel. Now, if someone had walked up and twisted tea her, ain't nobody would have argued. She's lucky she didn't get twisted tea. I personally thought that would have been funny if she did get a twisted tea. If you're not familiar with twisted tea, go look up twisted tea and you go see exactly what happened with a dude talking smack in a little convenience store. And this dude grabbed a twisted tea and just went spoof. Whole twisted tea just went obliterated on dude's face. If someone had walked up that was related to the person she was threatening and twisted tea her, anybody would have mind. You know why? Because that would have been called instantaneous consequences. But that has been lost in society because people have been allowed to come into your home, put their feet up on your chair, take your beer, take your drink, take your food, take your wife, take everything they want and walk out. And we've been told we just need to sit back and let them have it. No. At some point, we have to start understanding that respect is sometimes you have to take it. You have to let people know there's a line and a boundary you don't cross with me. Because if you give an inch, they take miles, not just one anymore, multiple miles. There's a statistic that was back in 77 to 89, right? About children and their reaction to certain parenting and what they would do when they got violent. Somewhere in the region of 300 to 320 homicides were done of children to parents. All why? Because there was a little sneak of disrespect that got planted in the minds of that child, either by school or by media. And the parents just thought, I need to give my child that kind of freedom. There's nothing wrong with letting your child question, talk, have a conversation with, not at all. But you also have to teach them discipline on the level of respect. When it's not taught, enter Miss Patel. The unfortunate thing for her, though, The multiple felonies she's facing, this could be some serious jail time. Now, the other side is, what if the same children grow up to be lawyers and doctors and judges, and they see Miss Patel and they think, she's just doing what she's supposed to do, and they let her off free. What does that tell the rest of society? That you can do whatever you want. Not far-fetched, because we've seen crazy people get off like that before. We've seen people get persecuted for doing nothing, and we've seen people get off for doing everything. We want to make something abundantly clear to y'all. The more people like her are allowed to be the way they are, and then we got told we can't say certain things, and you watch what happens with them, you're going to see a high uptick in the people that behave like her coming to the forefront, because they do not believe anything can happen to them, because it hasn't. They've been allowed. The internet has allowed. What is it, Mike Tyson, that says that everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth? It used to be that you can, remember, I keep going back to back in the day, because back in the day was so different. You couldn't be on the playground and just yap, 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 yap. It was instantaneous that your mouth got shut. You don't talk certain things in front of certain people because you don't know who is going to act out on you. But today, the one that acts first and antagonizes is usually the one that gets away. You, if you retaliate, you're the one going to get the consequence. It's a flipped upside down world, so get used to it. However, we are not out of the woods where we cannot flip the ship back around and head back the other way. You have a line in the sand. If you don't establish your own boundaries for you, people are going to establish it for you. And they don't care about your feelings, and they don't care about your life, about your livelihood. When they want to establish your lines for you, your own autonomy gets removed. And they know this. If you want a way to stand strong on what you believe, then stand there. You don't need to explain a whole lot to people other than, this is what I believe, and I won't tolerate you disrespecting me. I'm not saying to become violent. Please don't get me wrong. I ain't saying to go around twisting tea people. Not saying that. I'm not saying to go around clocking people when they disagree with you. But I am saying this: do not allow the smallest amount of disrespect to compound itself. And then before too long, you have no room to stand up for yourself. I am glad that she got arrested, because there's a difference between saying, I don't like how you're doing your job, I hope you get fired, you need to be removed from office. That's one thing. But saying that I personally will come to your home and end your life, you're going a tad far. Just a tad. Just a tad. And if you watch around today, it's becoming more and more normal. People threaten to show up to your home. Heck, we're too strong? Man, we get them kind of threats all the time. I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna find you. Why? Because people have become desensitized, and somebody has allowed them in somewhere in their life to think that that kind of reaction is okay. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not okay. If you have somebody in your life doing exactly what Ms. Patel did, shut it down. Shut it down early, because eventually, they may say something and they may act like that dog behind the fence. But that gap may actually yield a different result, where they don't stop doing what they're doing behind the fence and come at you and doing the exact same thing. And the only one that will pay for it will be you.